12, Y 1.5, right? And I'm getting those numbers from my drawing, from the actual blueprint, correct? All we have to do now
We're drawing this.
is hit apply. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and take a step back before we even go any further, and I'm gonna create my layers. Go to Geo. And part solid for right now. I might as well go ahead and make my chains. And my toolpath, correct? Alright, so right off the back, I'm gonna go ahead and go to solid mill traditional. We'll switch to solid mill, sorry. So here, once we switch to solid mill, two things I wanna do before I go any further, right? What's one of them?
Create the A-axis.
Create the A-axis.
Yes.
So if I come right here to common machining, setup. Go to assembly, table,
Axis.
axis, scroll down here to A,
New.
new axis, make sure it's on rotary, guys.
Rotary.
Hit OK. What's the next thing I want to do, Junior?
Your stuff.
A stock, right? So I'm going to go to simulation, advanced simulation. Come over here to simulation parameters, correct? Over here on solids, it's going to be a stock from a cylinder. So my outer radius is going to be 1.5, correct? My X value is going to be what? Cut. Minus 12. Hit add. There's my stock. Now yours might say 1. I guess I didn't start a new one, but that's fine. As long as you only have one over here. Hit OK. Alright, so now I'm going to go to unbounded geometry. Go to my rectangle. Click this one, bring it out, click it, right? Hit escape, because obviously the rectangle is still highlighted, right? Hit shift, highlight everything, click park solid so that I don't have to change it after I make it. Go where? Revolve boss, right? This angle, remember, it starts off at 90 from default. You want to switch it to 360, correct? Come down to select axis, click on my X line. Boom. Hit OK. Remember, if you don't see it right away, it's because of the view shaded up here. You probably had it on the wireframe.
Or nothing.
Is everybody there?
Seasonal.
So as we said earlier, guys, since I know I have these open slots here, I'm gonna make my part this way, right? Just go ahead and flip it around, correct? That way it's a lot easier for me. Yes, the drawing's gonna be upside down, but it's no big deal. All right,
It's
so
symmetrical anyway.
if your part solid is not under solid, make sure it is under layers, right? On part solid. Because if it's not, you're gonna start getting confused whenever you start making your circles and you gotta extrude them and everything else, right? So you wanna be able to activate it and deactivate it at a click. So if I click on this one, boom, it comes off, right? Sometimes you gotta click it and then click on the blue so it actually goes away, right? So now, I see a lot of you guys make this problem too. Y'all gonna start drawing the circle, and then what's gonna happen?
It's gonna be on in the middle of the part and not out at the surface.
No, what's gonna happen if I start making a circle right now?
You're not gonna see it.
Not gonna see it, right?
Well, because you're
Why? Because the part solid is not clicked and I'm under part solid. correct? A lot of you guys had that problem already, right? Y'all keep on clicking it and y'all like, I can't see it, I can't see it, it's not there. I'm doing it right, but stupid eSprit and this, that, and everything, right? But I'm not gonna go any further because Corey's recording me. We understand.
Stupid eSprit.
So we're gonna go to Geo
Stupid as me.
and be on the Geo now, right? Before we start doing the actual circle. So now, I'm gonna make my circle, correct? Well, I keep on thinking this is SolidWorks, because I can just go back and do the actual thing, right? So, first I'm gonna make a point. I'm gonna make it to my distance, which is what, 3.5? So on my X, I'm gonna go negative 3.5. And on my Y, I'm gonna keep that at 0. Watch what happens, guys, if I just leave it blank, right? eSprit is a little bit touchy sometimes when you don't put a value there. So if I leave it blank and I hit apply, look what happens. Incomplete functional command, right? The way that our brain is thinking, man, there's nothing there, so it should be 0, right? But the way eSprit is thinking, hey, I need a value here. Even if it's 0, I need a value there, or else I'm not gonna work, right? So I'm gonna hit 0, or you can put 0.0, whatever, but there's a value there now, right? Hit apply, bam, there was my dot, my point, correct? So now from here, I could easily click my circle, bring it out, and now what is it asking me down here on the bottom left? Enter my what? Radius, correct? So what's the radius of this part?
So,
Point
0.37, 375, yeah.
Yeah, 0.375, right? Enter.
Now, couldn't you have made that come out and be already at the,
Yeah, but
Radius.
when it comes to the swirls, I like making it on the same plane and then taking it all out at once, right? That way I'm not clicking something or anything like that. I'm taking it as a whole, correct? But this is America. Do whatever you want. See? All right. So now I'm gonna grab my line, come up here to the top, and just hit 0. Same thing at the bottom. So now I could trim the lines that I don't want or need. Remember, I already made my revolve, right? So technically speaking, I don't need that X0 line if I don't want it. Now look what happens when it comes over here. If I click on this, the whole line's gonna disappear. Why? Because I don't have this coming through there. Does that make sense? So see, look, if I click it, the whole thing disappears, right?
That issue yesterday.
Yeah, so if I wanted to, long way, I could just go ahead and draw a line there again, right? Put that at 0. And then make this one again. It's at that point, make it 0. Now I'll just trim out whatever I don't need. So it's little things like that, guys, the little things that you know how to control that makes this easier for you, right? Because if you take it off and then you put it on again and took it off and put it on again, it's better that you understand why it's doing that, correct?
Yeah, mine's not trimming right.
Hmm?
Mine ain't trimming right.
Okay. So now that I have that, I could extrude it if I want, right? So it's all up to you guys how you want to do this. You can make all of your lines first and then go to extrusion and all that type of stuff, right? Or you could go operation to operation. The more you deal with the spray, the more you're gonna lead towards maybe I should do it this way, or maybe it's faster if I do it that way, right? So it's tomato, tomato. So for me though, I'm just gonna go ahead and highlight this. Copy. Translate it. So it's gonna move on my z-axis 1.5, correct? Hit enter. So obviously, we're not gonna really see anything happen because the Z came out this way towards you, right? How you could confirm that that actually happened is one, if I click my solid, I should see it, right? Because if I left it down there, it wouldn't click up here with my solid, correct? Or just hit control, put the wheel of the mouse down, go sideways, right? So two ways to confirm that that actually came out, correct? So it's out now, so I'm just gonna hit F7. So now, with it still highlighted, I'm gonna rotate it, right? There's no reason why I should unhighlight it or anything else, correct? It's still highlighted, so it's still active, right? So I'm gonna hit right click, copy. Now, I'm gonna hit rotate, right? Because I want it to rotate around the part, correct? So right here it's telling me, you want me to move this guy or you want me to copy it, right? So we're gonna go with copy. We're gonna do 3 more copies, correct? And as we stated with the holes, if I click down here now, I'm just gonna click. I'm not gonna enter nothing. Just click it and it automatically adjusts to it, right?
If you were to just click OK, it would still keep it on that previous one? Or?
I think by a nanosecond it would change it because it has the other one on there. But if you clicked OK, you would have messed up.
Because it wouldn't have. Oh, yeah. I see. Okay, yeah. That's
Because of my, look what happens if I just leave it on this, right? I want to further explain it versus, oh, this is what you got to do just because that's the way to do it, right?
I told you to do it.
So if I push OK right now, what's going to happen is this is going to rotate
12,
on the
3, and
plane that
6.
it is.
12, 3,
Yeah.
origin.
on the plane that it is, right? So if I hit OK,
Pew, pew, pew. Nice.
See, that's what I was doing the first time when I was trying to do it, and then I was like,
maybe that's not right, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if I was trying to make a design, maybe that would be a cool design or something, right? But we know that that's not what we need, correct? So I'm just gonna hit back. It's still highlighted, right? Right click, copy. Everything's the same, but I'm gonna click off that use origin of rotation, correct? So once I hit OK, now it's asking me down here. Another instructor used to call it my super secret stash window. I don't know, he's been teaching it for like 13 years and he just came up with this type of stuff. So if you look at that little window on the bottom left, it's asking you, select the center of your rotation, right? So obviously we want to rotate it along the x-axis, correct? So now if I hit control down, I have all of mine, correct? There they all go. So now, I would have to select one. I'm gonna go to tools first, and I'm gonna go ahead and change my color. Get my hot pink going now. Go to machining, enable stock automation. Do that right now since I'm already there, right?
which one did you use? Lines, right? Or for the color?
Group items.
Group items.
Yeah, under the group items, that's anything I select, it's gonna change to that color that I picked, right? And by default, this one chooses those grays and that darker gray. I'm a little bit colorblind. I bet the welders are even worse. So you wanna make it to a color that sticks out, right?
Like the bright white light.
Alright, so I'm gonna highlight. Remember guys, in eSprit, it is not smart enough to know where to cut, right? Since we created all of these together, I can't click all of them, put extrude cut, because some of the cuts are gonna be coming out, some of them are gonna be coming in, right? And SolidWorks, it knows that it's gonna cut from that material, so they're all gonna go in. Does that make sense? But for eSprit, we have to do it one by one. Because if we don't, we're gonna get an alarm. Let's try to do them all together, see what happens.
Already know.
Bill's already tried to do that before.
So we click them all, we put extrude cut. Nope, because it's not on the same plane, right? Now, I believe you could do this one and the back one, because those screwed in, and the top and the bottom, and they'll extrude in, right? But
Hit the wrong
just to
button.
be sure, I am just gonna select them and do it the correct way, right? So I'm gonna select this one, part, extrude cut, right? Oh, I hit revolve, as I was. So, click at it, click that one. Oh, look what's happening.
It's a horseshoe.
It's not letting me because I took off
The line.
the line. Yeah,
Reverse,
so
reverse.
we would have to keep the line on there. No big deal. Oh, but I'm gonna have to go back all the way now.
Yeah.
So when it was down there. Okay. No big deal.
I mean, you can just make lines in between all of them, I guess.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna go ahead and. So yeah, keep it closed, guys. See, but with SolidWorks, you could pick just the inside of that, and that's it.
Snap.
So I'm just gonna copy it, translate it again, 1.5. Oh, I had copy on. Translate, move, 1.5, hit OK. Part solid, copy, rotate, copy it 3 times, OK. Click my X-axis, there I go. So now when I actually click it this time,
Bless
Salud.
Bless
Salud.
Thank you.
Yeah, I
lucky you don't stomp your feet before you sneeze. Really be scaring people out here. Yeah, I wish this was more like SolidWorks. So SolidWorks, I could have just clicked inside of there, and boom, it would have made it happen, right? So get to this spot once they're actually closed. You're clicking every line, or you made a line and then you're gonna rotate this that line. All right, so our distance, the part is 3 inches in diameter, right? So theoretically speaking, 1.5 should lead me to the center of it. But since we're gonna extrude everything on the same planes, right? So from the top and the bottom, it's the same plane on there. Since we're going all the way through, we could go a little bit further just to make sure that there's nothing down there, right?
That's center plane.
Because if you put it 1.4999, we know that it's spring, it's gonna leave that little piece of material, and you're gonna be like, why is that there? You know, like. So on our distance, remember we're gonna hit reverse, so it goes in now, right? Well, for me, and on this distance, I'm just gonna go 1.6, and then on active solid, I'm gonna hit body 1, and I'm gonna hit cut. Then hit OK.
Alright, good.
So we're gonna do this for
3
each
more.
one of them.
Alright.
See how this one is going up? Didn't go in, right? So that was the issue. The issue with this one is just hit the reverse. So it goes down, body 1, cut, hit OK, right? Rotate it around again. Highlight it. that one was on the same plane, right? I didn't have to reverse it. Body one, cut, hit okay. I gotta take this real quick, guys. Go ahead and clear everything. Goes the other way. Body one, cut, okay. Alright, so what do you guys wanna do? Y'all wanna finish this one off? Or do you want to create the other ones that we've been cutting?
Let's go to that groove.
The groove I wanna say for last, because I want to.
Then why even ask?
I asked a specific question.
No, let's
Do y'all
finish.
wanna do the other features, like?
The other feature, like the groove?
Because the thing about the groove is that we're gonna have to change our UWV. So once you change that, if you don't change it back, you're gonna throw everything else
So
off.
let's do
Right.
the circles and then the square and then the groove.
See, don't we already
Start from
know?
the far
That's
side
what I'm
or the-
saying. I mean,
No,
we can go through it real quick, but. Because I think we need the squares in order to machine the slots, right?
Do you?
To set up the, I mean, the way I did it this morning, I just went through and did the slots. That actually ended up working today without having to change the axis.
The orientation?
Yeah.
Mhm.
As
No,
long
that's
as
what
you
I'm
do it in
saying.
order, I guess.
Yeah, if you do it in order, it's better, because if you don't do it in order and you switch, and you forget to switch back,
Right.
and if you pick like an operation, it's gonna remember that one, and that's when you have to go to system default
Right.
all and everything like that, right? So the groove, like I said, if you wanna go ahead and jump in front, by all means go ahead. But like I said, if I'm explaining it up here and you don't catch it,
Yeah, I'll wait.
that's gonna, you're learning, though. Because ever since the first day of class, you're like, what is this, what is that? Let me go over here, let me do this, let me do that. Alright, so let's just go ahead and, did you guys do the slots yesterday? Did y'all machine them?
I did it this morning.
The answer is no.
Maybe, yes, no? Alright, so, we're gonna go ahead and do the slots, alright?
Use contouring, not pocketing.
Alright, so, doing the slots, we could do it a few different ways. The way that I usually do them is, you could either keep this on, but you gotta delete this line, right? Or, you could just grab all this and delete it.
No,
Let's go. What the hell are you doing?
Oh my gosh. Ruined it.
So now when you come back in and you put at an angle, right? I'm gonna hit sub elements and high. I'm gonna zoom in and I'm gonna grab my lines. Don't forget to keep shift down. I'm in control. No, not that one. That one. See that? Now let me see if it does wrap contouring. No. Makes you make a change.
It's not letting me select the line. That's weird.
Change those elements, the height.
You think that's
change.
a operator error?
Wait, you said the.
Yeah, chain it.
Yeah, I know, but I can't.
Chain. You got it? Chain it.
Chain it.
You got it now?
No, I'm talking. It won't let me
Change.
select the lines going around it.
Did you click
Did you
sub-elements and high?
push sub elements and high?
Yeah.
Did
Unless
Did-
it's
did
because
you
it's
zoom?
selecting the.
Ah, shit.
Did you hit the black line
That's
or did you
this
hit
whole
the
thing.
gray
Is that
solid?
what it's
You're
selecting?
hitting shift, bro, that's why.
Control,
Oh,
fool, not shift, control.
man.
I like the mole. I like the mole.
Boy, I tell you.
Can't
Hey,
fix
there's something new every day.
Mm-hmm.
Control, bro, control. Multiple entities
We should have gone through
control.
this on Thursday, so y'all would have really been messed up
Yeah.
by Monday. I'm like, wait a minute though.
We should have done it on Saturday.
You guys see how little things.
It's
the little things is what
I
gets.
wonder how long I'd have been sitting here on the test being like, what the fuck?
Alright, so we created our chain, right? So now we're gonna highlight our chain and we're gonna go to wrap contouring, correct, Bill?
No, we don't want that, cause it'll pivot the bottom of it, so your slot will actually be wider on the
At the
bottom.
angle.
You just gotta use a regular.
Well, let's do both, so we could see both of them.
I'll
Alright.
do the first one.
So I'm gonna go system default off, just so I could start from the beginning, cause I don't know what I did before. So I'm gonna hit spiral 1. Select your tool. So with this one, our radius is 0.375, right? So we can't get a tool that's greater than that. Now, since we're using contouring, it's just gonna make one line in and one line out, right? So we don't wanna use something very small that the step over it isn't big enough to take it out. Does that make sense?
0.3,
375.
0.4.
You can use a 0.375, 0.4, 0.425, which should work on there, right? But let's just use the 0.375. Most likely it's gonna be our best bet, right? So we're gonna come down here to the tools, take it back 2 inches, correct? Grab a end mill. $375, hit OK.
Working diameter's gotta change.
I don't think it has to. We'll try both. Let me see if that we're gonna have to change it, but the total depth is gonna have to change because we're gonna go 1.5. So we'll go 1.520, just so it can clear the bottom of it, right? With 20 thousandths. Color comp, my arrow's going this way, so it is color comp left, right? Let me see what we get on this. Tool offset should be smaller than row wrap cut level. Okay, yeah, so that's what it's saying. Cause like Bill said, it's working off of this, so the tool has to be smaller.
And you can adjust it, but it's,
Yeah.
you're gonna have that wide bottom.
So we're gonna pick a end mill. Let's try a 0.25.
You know?
Let me see. Still not liking it. Why did I put offset register value? Do I have anything on that register value?
No, mine don't. System default off. Offset radius, no.
Yeah, cause I already did that before and it didn't work, so just use.
Is it the working diameter? Under the wrap, the one?
The what?
Is it working diameter? Under wrap?
Which one did you use, Bill?
Just
Is
a
it
regular
that?
contour.
Let's see. No?
Oh, on the mill thing?
Mhm.
On mills? I wonder how that would translate over to the lathe though. I guess it would still work.
Leading is +2. That doesn't have nothing to do with it. I made it work with this before. Okay, so that offset value compensates it on its own. So look, if I put a 0 here, it still doesn't accept it. But if I change the tool, it changed that value for me. So that's why it's probably saying your tool is 200,000 plus the other 200,000. So let me see if I'm gonna get an itty bitty tool. Smaller pole position, offset should be smaller than. Okay. Let's try regular contouring now. So I'm gonna go to regular contouring. Got a 0.375.
Hey, I figured it out. It worked on mine.
What was it on it?
Let me open it back up. Where'd it go? I was under wrap, where it says traverse move type. I clicked parallel wall. Well, mine's more advanced than that. Prefer, yeah, I have like 5 options there, but it says move type. I did parallel wall with a tiny 0.1 in mil.
Radio wall? What do
No,
you have
go
on
the bottom
radio
one.
tool
Go
axis?
down there.
100,000 or
What do you have
200?
up here?
Dude, that's not long enough.
Parallel wall.
No, but
It
move
is.
type. Do you have radio two axis?
No, I changed it. I changed it to parallel wall. The bottom one. Yeah, right there. And then it worked. I probably changed
That
it.
don't look right.
I'm saying it allowed me to choose it.
Oh, I know why.
Use a wider tool though. It sort of worked.
It's hard work.
So for that is your links. So lead in. We're just gonna try wrap. Leading arc must be greater than 0.
Hold on. You guys ain't done yet?
No, I have on my
Oh,
chain
come on,
has
Bill.
this weird. So here's my chain, here's my part, and then there's a work center
See, and that's,
all the way to the side on it.
when
And
I did
every
it
time
before, I
put
had to
it,
do all
it's like
that.
machining outward.
What I did this time, which made it a lot quicker, is
Gotcha.
I made my squares, the pockets, and then you basically make each pocket before you do that slot, your axis, you know what I'm saying? You change your axis on top of that square.
Yeah, mine's not working at all.
This isn't working out on this one.
Alright, so use wrap.
I think you gotta do the pockets first. And then use the pockets to put your axis on it. I just did it and it actually was really easy. So you can choose to do it that way, but that's the way I'm doing it. It worked.
You're doing the pockets first?
Yeah, do the pockets, and that way you have a flat surface to put your axis on.
No, yeah, but you really shouldn't have to change the axes.
No, it seemed to work better the way I did it last time.
Nice move there, Bill.
Yeah, cause it's. Mine's just like either machining off to the side, machining.
Yeah, that's why I
outwards.
kept running into that, it goes through the part, it just became a big pain in the ass, so I just said, let me try it this way, and it seemed to work.
So what were you saying about doing that? Where are you putting the work plane thing?
Put your pockets in first, so you have a flat surface, and then when you click on the bottom of that pocket, and then you change your axis to that point, you know what I'm saying? Look at that, like butter.
That's fucking sucks.
Did you make any pockets yet?
See what well, I have these two chains.
Well, if you wanna look at mine, cause I already did my pockets and the holes.
Pause this video while we figure it out.
Yeah. So,
Junior
I use
figured it out.
contouring, it starts on the outside of the piece.
yeah, there's a few ways to do this, guys. Like we said earlier, it's not just one way and that's it, right? So that's the good thing about eSprit and trialing and error, that you could figure out different ways of accomplishing the same thing you're trying to do, right? So the thing that I had forgotten was when you rotate it, it does rotate and it compensates for the axis that it's rotating on. Does that make sense? So if we try to click one individually, that's why we were failing on the other times, because it was like, hey, I'm not on that plane. Or we had to switch the plane, tell it to switch, and then it'll move, right? But with rotate, it's actually a lot faster and a lot quicker, because it registers that it's rotating around the part. Versus just, I did this one, now the next one, now the next one, now the next one, right? Because every time we click, because I know some of you guys clicked on this back one, and then the end mill went through the part, right? To be able to do it on that one, correct? So, and the rules of either having a pocket, like we said, on this one, I made a pocket, right? But why? Because I ended up extending the feature out, correct? I extend out the feature right here, which I just drew another line, 200 thousandths, that's it. And then created this as a whole, what's the word I'm looking
Chain.
for? An enclosed feature. Does that make sense?
Pocket.
So that's how we could do it a pocket, right? The way that Bill was saying, Bill didn't have this, and he just selected on here, right? And that's why he used contouring, correct?
So, yeah, you would just have, well, he did the squares first, right? And then he would put the work plane on top of that flat part of the squares.
Mhm.
And then you can select your line and then just.
Right, but, okay, now let's take both of them into play, right? So, Bill did it one way, Antonio did it another way. Let's take a little bit of both and put it together now, and see what we get, right? Like we said, there's multiple ways of doing it, and it's free, right? So really, I'm just gonna back up.
So let me ask you this, so with, the difference between pocketing and contouring is where your piece is gonna start, cut, right?
Yes and no, but like
So-
the main thing is knowing what a pocket is.
Right, what I'm
versus
saying
a
is, so you
contour.
got this piece, aluminum or whatever, sitting in your chuck in your lathe. Now, you're gonna come in, would it be better to start from the end and come in, or start onto the piece and, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, so
It all
like-
depends on the situation, but if I was doing this in real life and, like, let's say I was chucking and I only had the slots out, yeah, I'd come out from outside of the part
Right.
and go in,
And that's what
right?
the contouring will give you.
Yeah,
It allows
that's
you to
what the
come in
contour
from the
gonna give you.
outside, yeah.
But if I'm machining between centers,
Right.
I probably want a pocket. You
Mhm.
get what I'm saying? So it doesn't start at the end and hit the tail stop and then do that feature. So it all depends what we're doing, right?
But you couldn't do it between centers with these slots because they go all the way to the center.
Well, if I made like a plug, right, from plastic, and it held it in the center on it, it would just machine out.
That seems
on
like
the
a lot.
bottom. Yeah, but I mean, sometimes you gotta go through a lot. You get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, cause I made parts like this before where I had to make it was a through, right? But you made the plug all the way over there, and then you made a plug come here, and then the plug tapered.
Right.
And then it attached
You
to
make it
the
center.
actual tailstop. So yeah, it removes some of that material, right? Obviously, if I'm making that plug, the diameter in the inside is already like half an inch or whatever, right? So whenever the end mill came down, yeah, it hit some of that plug
That's
the
plastic.
first time, right? But it's plastic, so you can still use it for the next one, you can use it for the next one, right? So it's just understanding what contouring does and what pocket does, correct?
Now, you could like 3D print something like that, right?
Yeah, but it's better to 3D print it with this one that has a filament,
So now,
because you're gonna have
no, click.
empty
And do
material
100%
inside it,
infill.
yeah. So versus just having one extruder and putting supports, cause you're gonna actually need a lot of supports to be able to hold on to that material.
Yeah. And then click that.
Alright, so, like we said, we're gonna try to do it
Then click it.
both of the guys' ways together. Doesn't sound right, but yeah, I get what I'm trying to say. Alright, let
It's
me
a
catch
Navy
myself
thing.
real quick.
It's a Navy thing.
Alright, so what I'm gonna do is,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna delete this line, delete that. Oh, they didn't wanna do that.
INT's on. Yeah, I
I'll delete that one. And then I'll just,
go. Now
draw
you can do, get this.
one here, 0 enter. And then I'm just gonna trim out this and this. Alright, so I'm gonna do this Bill's
You
way
got a small 3D print.
Right. of just having this with no opening, right? No opening on it. Highlight the solid, the part. Bring it out, translate. 1.5. And we're just gonna move it, correct? So there we go. Now, let me double check and make sure I didn't back off, so that my stuff should still be there. Alright. Okay. Now that that's still highlighted, I'm gonna rotate, copy, rotate. We're gonna copy 3 of them. And we're gonna rotate along the x-axis, right? There it goes. So now, extrude it out, extrude it down. So highlighted the parts on there. Oh, we left it open.
Yeah, for there, you gotta leave it open.
Yeah,
or
for there
close
we
it.
gotta leave it open.
And then when you're done, then you can just select the edge.
See, but in all reality, damn it, I hate that I already unclicked it.
Just draw a line between the two.
No, yeah, but hold on, let me try this real quick. Translate.
Yeah, see?
Now I'm having trouble getting the work plane to be on the front.
Pissing me off.
You said you clicked on one of the lines, Bill?
The edge.
Oh, okay, you have to click.
Yeah,
both
make
of
your
them.
chain around the edge.
Yeah, you have to click both of them, that's what he was saying. To get this work plane on the front right here, cause I was trying to make.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
The other holes right here.
Yeah.
Not this. There we go. There we go.
Let's see if this will work.
Oh. Now, when you did the circles, did you use P-top or did you,
And I use that, wrap drilling.
that one worked?
Mm-hmm.
And then, so you selected all of them chained?
Well, you gotta find your holes,
Hmm.
find your hose.
I've got a hole in different area code. Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
And you used the end mill for that, right?
Yes.
Alright, so we see this?
Yeah, see how they're all coming from the outside?
Man,
Alright, so,
Now, did you change the axes on that or no? You did them in order though. No?
rotary.
alright guys, look, check this out. The way, the way that we've been, learning this is different steps, right? So, as you guys can see, my drawing doesn't even have the mustache, pay attention. And look at it too. So if you guys see this, my stock, I didn't have to extrude it, right? Remember guys, when we extrude it, we're just doing that for the actual drawing, right? Nothing to do with the actual post-processing or anything like that. That's why it's CAD CAM, right? We could draw it in SolidWorks and import it into eSprit, right? But nothing that we drew in SolidWorks is gonna actually translate to the actual code. Does that make sense? What's gonna translate to the code are the actual chains and the toolpath that we did. Does that make sense? So yes, I've been teaching you guys how to draw it in eSprit and in SolidWorks because it's a good feature to know, right? But like I said, 9 times out of 10, if you work for a company that has an engineering department and a drafter, they're gonna make the SolidWorks drawing, and when it gets imported, it's gonna smash, right? But let's say that I'm the programmer. They didn't give me a they didn't give me a model, but they just gave me the blueprint, correct? Okay, they just gave me the blueprint. All I gotta do is come up with the chains, the lines, and the toolpath, and that's it. I could care less if I see the features or not, because once my actual simulator cuts, that's what it's gonna be cutting off. Does that make sense? So, for example, on what we have been doing here, so I took off my chain, took off everything, right? Got my part solid, and I just made that line, the circle, and that line coming over here, and that line coming down, right?
Left the end open.
Yeah, left end open. That's it, correct? So now, if I hit shift, and I highlight it, I'm gonna still translate it. So just hit move, 1.5, okay, right? So there it is. Now, I am going to, I don't even think I have to rotate, well, the rest of them. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna create a chain on there, auto chain, right? So there's the auto chain, correct? Remember, this is only one, that's it. Now I'm gonna highlight it, and since these are all the way through straight, right, flat on the walls, we're just gonna do contouring. Like Bill said earlier, if these actually had like a V coming down on it, then we would use the wrap one because it would have the angle to it, correct? But as we can see on the print, it doesn't have it, so we're just gonna go straight up and down, right? So all we're gonna do is click on this one, SolidWorks Traditional, and go to contouring. So our general, we're gonna pick our tool, right? On our strategy, we're gonna tell it how down it's gonna go. Color comp, obviously, if I was really concerned of the post processor, I would change that number, right? Tool number 2, tool number 3, whatever I'm using it, the email as, right? So advanced, that's fine. Links. Now we gotta remember, guys, that this is the way that it enters and the way that it leaves, right? I could adjust it on lead in and lead out with all these different options that it gives us, correct? This is one of the things that a lot of students have a problem with because they see an operation and they think it's the same for every single operation, right? But sometimes it's different. The best thing that I could relate that to is when you guys were doing intro to CAD on the lathe, right? Facing, it really didn't matter because you were just coming over here and you were facing it, correct? But if you were turning the OD, right? What would happen if you had the same exit and entry and exit modes?
You crash the face.
It would crash into the part, right? That's why we gotta switch it up sometimes depending on what operation we're doing, right? So if I go tangent and I'm just going positive 287, so it's starting in front of it, tangent to the part, right? I hit OK. Boom. It made that cut, right? There we go. It's making it and it's bringing it down to there, right? Now, this is the beauty of what I had done before, but I couldn't remember, but that Antonio shared with us and everything. So this is the great part, and this is without clicking other faces or anything like that, right? So now, if I highlight that toolpath, right? Come over here to the blue, copy, rotate. Now I'm gonna copy it 3 times, 90 degrees between them, right? Take off the origin, hit OK. Now if I hit that one,
Bam.
it made all the chains and the toolpath together.
So you can do that with all the processes that we're gonna do on this piece, except for that freaking groove.
Man.
So now if I start at the beginning and I hit play,
Boy, I tell you what.
it's rotating on itself because it knows that the rotate is coming from a rotation axis. That's why we don't have to move our work plane.
Not harder. eSprit
Right.
don't suck as bad as we thought it'd do. Just figure out how to do it though.
It's even faster. I like that.
Told you. You took both of y'all together, right? Antonio did the pocket though, so that's why, but he took the contouring, right? Which made it a little bit better. So we put both, merged them together, and here's the outcome.
The contour pocket.
So,
Alright?
plus 50.
Pocketoring. Pocketoring. I like it.
But as you guys can see, if I just hit stop, I just have my chains on there and my toolpath. I didn't have to extrude it or anything like that, right? Now, you can still extrude it if you want. But on the test, what I really care about is your chains and your toolpath.
That's what's important. is what you-
Because that's what's gonna go
At
on
the
the
end of the
code.
simulation, does it
Yeah.
look right?
Now, the simulation, like we said, it's kind of like a safety net type stuff. Because if, let's just, right now I'm going all the way through. But what happens if I was only going down an inch? And I ran my actual toolpath and I see that it wasn't touching it. For example, pay attention guys. For example, you guys test. We had the 3 circles, right? Some of you guys didn't chamfer the last circle, correct? I mean, it happened. While you guys were practicing, some of you guys, because we had the bigger one, the smaller one, and then the one all the way down, right? So some of you guys didn't chamfer the one all the way down. If I do it like this, how do I know whether it's gonna chamfer or not? I don't. Does that make sense? But if I did that on the drawing, and then I'm looking at my toolpath, and I see that it didn't do it, then I could double check like a safety net also. Hey, it didn't do that. You get what we're saying? So that's how it helps you if you do it or not, right? Now, like I said, for me, all I'm worried about is the chains and the toolpath. But if I do the drawing on top of your part and it doesn't match up, well then that's minus points right there, correct? Because you didn't actually cut the fixture, or you didn't actually make the part to the actual print. Does that make sense? So that's why it will behoove you to do the extrusions and all that type of stuff,
I need a
so
word
you could double
companion.
check it.
Need a word companion to behoove myself.
That's enough behooving for the week.
Um,
So that's one of those type of words you only hear it once and you're good.
That rotate feature's nice.
Good job.
Yay.
Good job, Antonio.
All right, now how to groove? Let's groove.
Can I start over?
Go ahead and start over. And
Fucking groove.
Tomorrow, yeah, tomorrow, Bill.
That's always the notes and just
we'll do the group tomorrow, guys.
On to the
First time
groove.
for weird reason.
Chains and then torque path.
I think there's only one way to find out if it actually crashes, so.
Alright, so for this groove, right? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make my work plane on my face, right? Then I'm gonna draw a circle of the diameter of the groove. So if that's 250 coming down there, we have another 250 there, right? So that's half an inch, top and bottom, correct? So that circle is gonna be what? 2.5, correct? So the circle that I'm gonna make is 2.5, then I'm gonna translate it back. I'm gonna translate it back. So then on that circle, I'm gonna create a chain around that circle. Does that make sense? So I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna go back to unbounded geometry, work plane from face, make sure I have my view on and I can see it, right? So you see when I clicked on it, my W came this way now, right? So now my W is facing this way, correct? So W works with Z, right? U works with X, and V works with Y, right? Remember when we were going over G71s and G72s, right? The U was the extra material left on the X-axis, correct? And the W was the extra material on the Z-axis, right? So the only one left is V. And if you think about V,
He runs with Z.
if you think about the V, just think about the Y. You just have to make that little stick under it, right? That's how some people remember it, right? Because, yeah, it's just U, W, V, but some people get confused of it being there. I'm pretty sure it was Robbie using another finger for the stick. Alright, so remember guys, if I have sub-elements and high on, and I try to come here at the center, I'm not gonna get that little box, right? So since I don't have it, I get the little white box on there, correct? So click on it. Now when I extend it, what did we say it was gonna be? 2.5?
Or
So
2.5.
2.5 divided by 2, this is the radius, right? Boom,
Wow.
there it is.
So, okay. Would you, don't they have those end mills that have like the radius on them? Is
The
that
ball
what you-
end mills?
Yeah,
Yeah,
is
I'm
that
gonna
what
use
you would
like a
use?
ball end mill. Yeah. So you got those, and then you could still, just because you call it a machine, a tool, in real life you could put a different tool on there, right? Because in real life, what I have on that lathe really goes over what's on the machine. So as long as the numbers match up and everything is good, like if I'm using a 0.25 radius end mill and I have a 0.25 grooving tool also, I could adjust it to make sure that it matches.
But that the ball end mill is gonna give you the best like finish.
Quick question, this is scrap, right? This is
Why, you wanna take it
use?
home?
No, fuck you got it. I didn't see it.
Well, we wanna use this area, we're
Who
gonna
wants
cut
to
it
take it
off.
home?
He's recording this, stop.
He's not recording what he's holding up, so we don't know. 4.75.
Alright, so if I turn on sub elements and hide now I can zoom in and select that one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was showing a circle.
I'm out of this pocket, these holes. Not do that shit.
What did I do wrong? What happened?
So now
I'm gonna translate.
I'm gonna right click, copy, translate, right?
Ooh.
So we're on Z. So from Z, obviously I look at my print and it's backwards, right? So we would have to do the math for it backwards, or I could just say, hey, Z is gonna be negative 12, right?
7.2.
Plus 7.25, correct? So that's gonna already take it to Z negative, but then it's gonna add the 7.25. Oh, we didn't do that. What happened? What did we
Because
get wrong?
it's 4.75, because you're on the other side of the freaking,
Go negative
you're coming from the other side of the park. So you're only
Oh,
moving at
I copied it, though.
4.75.
Yeah.
See, now the way you did it, Bill, I'm sure this is the way I did it too. You just drew a little circle all the way down there on the top.
Yeah,
You
I just did it
did
top.
the extrude.
Ta-da.
There you go.
There it is right there. The part
And then
solid
just
was
follow
on.
along.
I had copied it, right? So now that it's highlighted,
Change.
L2G.
I'll make a chain out of it, right? And after that, wrap contouring.
Wrap contouring.
Yep.
Solid little tree.
Territory. Use the ball mill 1/2 inch. Diameter 3 inches. Depth 2.25.
That ball mill? Quarter inch?
Ball. No.
No, it's a quarter inch radius, so we're gonna use a half.
That's not doing it. What is?
Oh, the radius there, you double the size of the tool.
Oh, because it's offset. Can't have offset.
Total depth.
The total depth is only gonna be 0.5. No, 0.25.
0.25.
Point quarter.
0.25. Offset, we're gonna,
Why? Coming in.
Neither.
should be no.
Right, well, they're the bottom one. The
No, tool radius
Yeah.
offset. No, but this is the offset side.
It'll bring it to that, once you do the tool path, but I'm stuck at why it's coming in, it's not plunging, it's coming in off to the side.
And that distance
Sorry.
doesn't look right, cause it looks like it's gonna cut into your grooves. Or your slots. The groove's gonna cut your slot now.
Links.
Oh, maybe not. That's the angle you had a while ago. That looked like right there was gonna cut it off.
Down, over the down, there we go.
Alright, leave the depth at 0 because the chain is already down there.
There, right.
So leave that at 0.
Let's see if that. Oh, that's too far. That's too buku.
How deep is
It's a
it?
0.25.
2.5 from the top, 2.5 from the
No,
bottom.
but is it? On you, did it cut it right?
Oh, don't know yet, cause I didn't actually do
There
the
you
drawing
go.
that way.
It looks right.
No, it's
This is correct.
0.25.
But yeah, so if you do this first, guys, like before the operations, make sure you switch your work plane back to the original ones, right? Because if you don't, it's still gonna think that this is your Z, correct? When we've been programming everything like the mill. Does that make sense? So after you do this, make sure you shift
Those
it
zeros
back.
that it did it.
What is going on here, Junior?
Hey, yours went too deep though, didn't it? Cause it's just
I think
supposed to be the radius, which is 0.25. I just did it and I took basically your depth off put it on 0.
Yeah,
and
that's
that
what
looks
he
like
said.
it.
That's
Yeah,
what he
that's what I
said. That's what he did.
It looked-
I
So,
finished what I was doing there.
for the chamfers, you could do it both ways. Like if I just have my solid and I didn't actually draw the actual slots, right, of it, it's gonna create a whole circle around it, right? So that's cool. I could just click on that, make those chains, and just -50 on the walls. Create the chamfer tool, and it would do that one, right? But obviously back here, that one's gonna be +50, correct? But let's say you made a drawing that already had the slots in it, right? Well, we just made the one for this one, correct? All you have to do is change your work plane to the face of it, make the circle 3 inches in diameter, 1.5 radius, right? And make that a chain. That's it. We can convert any lines that we make to chains, guys. And chains are what matter because that's where your tool path comes from. Does that make sense? So unlock the key for yourselves. Go ahead and stop.